Welcome to Insurance Journal TV. Today our guest is Mr. Stephen Lilienthal, the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of CNA Financial from Chicago. Today we're coming to you from a suburb of Los Angeles called Duarte, California, and it happens to be the location of the City of Hope, a research hospital. And the reason that we're here today is that Mr. Lilienthal is the honoree of the National Insurance Industry Council, a support group for the City of Hope. Steve, it's great to have you here in Los Angeles these days and at the City of Hope. And would you tell us a little bit about your involvement with the City of Hope and how you came about, how it came that you became the honoree?
Thanks, Mark. I'm new to Chicago, and I came to CNA about seven years ago. Mm-hmm. And I was, I've been aware of the City of Hope and the industry support for the City of Hope. There's been a number of senior folks at CNA who have been honored before me this year. So, we do have a history with the City of Hope, and I did have some knowledge of the City of Hope and its reputation, certainly in Southern California, but also nationwide with respect to their involvement in cancer research, cutting-edge cancer research. Mm-hmm. But I really wasn't as familiar as I am now, and I am now completely and utterly overwhelmed with the depth and the amazing talent and dedication of the people at the City of Hope in their quest and determination mm-hmm. To find a cure for cancer.
Yeah, I believe that a lot of people in the insurance industry don't really know much about the City of Hope and what they've done in the past and how they are the premier center for bone marrow transplants for kids with leukemia and that sort of thing. It's quite amazing. And I, as a member of the board, I wanted to express my appreciation that you're doing this to help us raise funds and celebrate the successes of the City of Hope.
Well, Mark, it's truly an honor for me to be recognized and honored this way. It's a privilege for me to be of assistance and participate in the celebration of the City of Hope and efforts to raise funds for this incredible institution. As I mentioned before, I've had a passing and probably not an in-depth understanding of what the level of excellence that exists here with respect to cancer research and actually the national and global effect that the City of Hope has with respect to cancer research and treatment. But spending time here is humbling. I mean, it is utterly and completely humbling to spend time with people who have dedicated their lives, who have given of themselves, who have shown incredible patient compassion and focus, who are willing and able to share with other institutions their knowledge and their insights with respect to this horrendous and horrific disease. So this is something that is a privilege for me, and it truly is an honor and something that I'll carry with me for the rest of my life, as well as my intention to stay involved with the City of Hope in the future.
Great, that's terrific. Kim, while we have you here, let's talk a little bit about the insurance industry. And I think we're in one of the deepest soft markets I've seen recently. Can you give us some thoughts about that? Or when do you expect it might turn or start to turn, or a little bit?
Well, certainly the insurance industry has shown, or the insurance marketplace has shown some deterioration or softening for the last, I'd say, 2 to 2.5 years. Unlike other soft markets, which really kind of tend to dominate the insurance scene, for most of my career, I'd say 2/3 of it has been spent in soft or more competitive, price-competitive market conditions. But this one has not behaved terribly badly in terms of rapid deterioration from a pricing or coverage availability standpoint. So it has not been impossible to deal with. It has been difficult. There has been pressure on premium growth for a variety of reasons, but at the end of the day, it has not been a wildly fluctuating marketplace, with the exception of one or two segments of the market. Mm-hmm. I have seen worse. I would characterize the mid '80s or the early '80s as a more volatile marketplace. I certainly would characterize the '90s, the mid '90s to 2000, as a much more volatile marketplace. That being said, things that aggravate an insurance cycle such as the condition of the financial marketplace right now, which really puts a lot of pressure on the carriers, and the struggling economy, or the struggling economic conditions, also creates three legs of a stool that is sort of like the perfect storm. So if you have a marketplace that's deteriorating, an insurance marketplace that's deteriorating, difficult financial markets, and then you have a very difficult economic conditions, it really makes things incredibly difficult to deal with. So, that being said, the market itself has not behaved badly, but it's certainly aggravated by the financial markets and the economy.
What about the global reinsurance marketplace? The industry just reported some pretty miserable results in the first 6 months of this year. How much of an effect does that have on pricing here?
Well, it really hasn't shown through yet, and there's usually a lag factor in terms of how insurance and then certainly reinsurance prices reflect the results that are reported out. So it'll take a little while for the reinsurance market to reflect deteriorating results in the retail market, but that will come. I mean, right now the supply there's high supply. Prices reflect the fact that particularly in the catastrophic marketplace for the 2 years prior to this, that there has been very little activity, or at least not as spectacular activity as in 05 and 04. But the insurance marketplace will react to certainly heightened activity in this year. We have also seen an increase number of large property losses or fire losses, which will also affect the reinsurance marketplace, and has affected the retail side, and certainly will reflect itself in the reinsurance marketplace over time. So other factors to consider is the fact is that as the reinsurance market changed several years ago, and prices went up dramatically and supply shortened, companies repositioned their reinsurance so they weren't quite as vulnerable to fluctuations in the reinsurance marketplace than they were before. Attachment points went way up on both risk covers and also cat covers. So that tends to make the higher level layers tend to be less volatile and less fluctuating than the lower ones.
Let's jump back to the City of Hope just for a second and talk about the black tie dinner in Chicago, November 20th.
Yep.
I have been to several myself, and this is going to be quite a spectacular, I think, one of the second ones we've done in Chicago. A great place to do it, a great city, and a great insurance town. I'm sure you're looking forward to it.
Yes, I am. It'll be a great, I think it'll be a great event, and I think the City of Chicago will come out in force to support the City of Hope, and I am really truly be happy to be part of that.
Well, thank you, Steve. We appreciate your time.